Welcome to We Still Ain't Got Our Shit Together podcast, where we are a boundary-free zone.
Man, and where everything goes. When I say everything, I really mean everything.
Everything?
Yeah,
Yeah,
everything.
but look, for real, y'all. I'm gonna be completely honest. One thing I hate is when another person feel like they're better than the next. I mean, we all still ain't got our shit together nowadays.
Plus, life is about constant elevation. And without it, we're dead.
And that's why our podcast is called We
Still
Ain't
Got
are
shit
together.
Together.
For real.
Welcome back to another episode of We Still Ain't Got Our Shit Together. I'm one of your hosts, John Wayne Willis Jr.
And you know it's your boy KJ No Dog Food. What's up?
And I'm your girl, Manuela Cup, bringing that female energy along with a little sack.
Yo, today we got a special guest. My
Yes.
boy, the guy behind the scenes, when he really could be the guy in front of the scenes. But I'm about to bring to the stage my boy Ryan Gordon, aka Dadshot that.
What up? What up? Thanks
What's
for having
up,
me.
man? Welcome in. Welcome in.
I like the name of the show. It's really honest.
Oh, thank you.
I love that.
Yo, so I'm gonna tell you a quick story right before we get started. When I came up with the name for the podcast, I had sought the services of like a social media marketer, right? And she proceeded to tell me that she didn't like the name of the show because everybody on the show supposedly seemed like you had your shit together. And that, I ain't gonna lie, I immediately was like, you're not the person to work with me at all, right? Like if you have a house, a car, and you work a good job, I was like, yeah, but I ain't got my shit together by any means.
She didn't
And
see
so,
the vision.
She couldn't see the vision. She couldn't see the vision with it. But I mean, I think the name tells it all in a sense where basically nothing's ever finite for anybody, at least on our show, right? It'll never be that small peak. Now, I'm not saying you can't reach goals, but you know, once you reach a goal, something always seems to pop up more here or more there, figuring out how you spend time here and time there. But can you let the people know who you are, though?
I mean, I'm just a guy right now, you know.
Nah, you bigger than that. But,
Anybody.
you know, I like the modesty.
I mean, I don't feel like I'm nobody special, man. One of my goals in life is just to make everybody I come in contact with feel like seen and heard. You know what I mean? So I feel like I've always been the person to walk up to someone random and just connect with them on where they're at. Like one of my closest friends at work now is a young lady from China. We don't have nothing in common, but I talk to her and we can connect on the fact that we both miss home. You know what I mean? And then from there, amazing stuff happens. So I feel like just any way I want to be known, it's like you can go talk to Ryan about anything and he'll understand you at least. So
are you going to be the next Black Godfather? Do you know who that is?
No.
You don't?
No.
All right. So that's a documentary I want you to go look up. Don't shit
Okay,
happen.
right. Okay.
Don't shit happen unless it say so hits. This
Let me write that down.
So yeah, Black
Are we
Godfather.
talking about the one with Forrest Whitaker?
Yeah. Well, no, it's not a TV show. It's an actual person that they call the Godfather, right? So
Oh,
we're
I
talking
see that.
about we're talking about from Michael Jackson to Quincy Jones to Obama to he's the mover, the shaker, the person behind the scenes. Like, so basically, like it's like on some real mafia stuff, right? But it's not really mafia. But he's like that guy behind the scenes. I think his name's like Clarence, right? And so he seems like a normal guy, but the entire process of the culture moves through him and what he did, which is
he the dude? It's probably not the same dude. Is he the dude that made Drake and Kanye apologize to each other? You know what I'm talking about?
No idea that happened.
So that's Jay Prince. Nah, that's not
Okay,
him.
I'm about
So
to say, but it's a person like
Jay
that.
Prince have that. Yeah, Jay Prince have that type of feel to where towards the industry and streetwise, he's a godfather, most definitely. Everything
He
moves
made
off
two
his
grown men
word.
apologize though.
Not national television, but on live social media. Two grown
Wow,
men apologize. He has that power. When I mean has that power,
that's
Damn.
different.
the goddamn earth will shake if he say something.
I'm saying that's different, bro. Like, I'm
Hey,
stubborn.
straight out of Texas, Jay Prince Sr.
Wow. I didn't know Kanye's and Drake's beef was that real.
Absolutely.
I feel like it's
You mentioned
one-sided.
somebody child and woman.
He did what?
You mentioned somebody child and their woman.
In one of the music?
One
Like
of
it
the-
was like a
Most
diss. It was a
definitely.
diss track.
Okay, so
Okay,
quick
look, y'all
breakdown.
about to
Pusha
laugh me.
T-
I clearly
hold on.
didn't hear this diss track.
So look, quick breakdown. Kanye West had information about Drake's situation when it came to him sleeping with the porn star and getting her pregnant, and they had their child Adonis. Pusha T made a diss track about Drake in which
Okay, I remember Pusha T.
Pusha T made a diss track about Drake in which he directed it towards Adonis and the baby mother porn star. But the situation was because Kanye West was jealous that Drake lived down the street from Kim Kardashian. So he had an insecurity that he was going to sleep
What?
with his wife. Probably did sleep with her. But it was a whole little debacle that just went crazy.
That's different, bro.
But it got serious because that child was mentioned, and he like, why the hell did you
Okay,
mention my child?
I see
But
what you're
Pusha
saying.
T was like, why the hell did you mention my wife? So two grown men had to sit down and hash shit
So
out.
I remember the Pusha T Drake back and forth battle, right? I was like, I didn't know that
Mhm.
Kanye had a battle. I don't know, man. I don't want to come to conclusions, but that I don't know. I don't know
Oh, it's not a conclusion.
if
It's a
that
fact.
Kim lady is good
It's a
for you,
fact.
man. Shit,
Hey,
nah. You
man.
talk about you
Kim
randomly kind of
Kardashian
seeing somebody sleeping with her. They live down the street, like so she can't
Look,
have neighbors.
if you notice, Kim Kardashian family destroys every black man that comes encounter
Is
with them.
Kanye really destroyed now that he's a billionaire?
Absolutely. He had to move across the street from his ex-wife. Bought a house literally directly across the street so he can see his kids.
See, what the
If
thing is for
not,
me, I'm actually that petty. If me and Aria ever broke up, I would like buy multiple houses in the area. Like wherever she lived, I'm gonna buy the house on either side of her.
Oh my god, that is weird.
but
You gotta
you
surround
gotta
her.
look at it though. But you gotta look at it. She's a high value white woman with a child from a black man. So society is in her
She's
favor.
not. Is she? Is she considered white? White?
She white. Look at her mama.
So yes.
I don't know, man.
She
Let me.
white. She a
I'm-
high value white
we
woman.
did
that
not
had a
come
child
here
with
to
a
talk
black
about
man.
Kim Kardashian,
My
and
bad.
we done
my
got
bad.
off track. We done got off track. I done asked a question, took us down the damn rabbit hole.
That's funny.
Talk about everybody else. We gonna get back on track now. My fault, Ryan.
Nah, you good. I was just listening.
So clearly, The Godfather is gonna get you in a lot of shit. All right,
Yeah, a lot of power.
but nah, I kind of love that. But continue with your story as we rudely interrupted.
I mean, what really no story? You just ask like who I am, and that's who I feel like I am. You know what I mean?
Okay, so the
about it.
connector.
Yeah.
That would have
Yes.
been a really dope street ball name for you.
In
If you was still
2001.
Hey, look, the connector. I like that.
Yeah, I love it.
You got to start doing that from now on. If you create a video, whoever you're filming, start giving them like nicknames.
Like
like
Jim
Shaq
Babes.
do. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that right there. I like that
I need
right
to get
there.
back in the streets, man. I'm just at work, so I ain't even had a chance to explore yet. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna ask this right here, since I know for you that the game means a lot to you, but being in the street originally, making mixtapes, going to workouts, filming basketball at its pure form, do you feel like being mainstream now in the media sense, right? Do what is the two biggest differences for you in that?
I think when I first started, because I first started filming basketball probably like in 2017, 2018, maybe. I don't remember the exact year. But back then, it was just like, I was just exploring, you know what I mean? I was going to every park I could, posting the highlights from like the Goodman League at Berry Farms, or going to random high schools, everywhere from DeMatha to um, Spalding to Pilati. Y'all might not know, but
Oh, I get
y'all
it.
know
I
what I'm
know.
talking about. You know
But
what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
Like
you
just
got some miles on you.
hopping around
That's falls
everywhere.
into the method.
Yeah, like I feel like that's the rite of passage for everyone starting out in this game. You just travel to as many places as you can, follow the big stars. Like I think the craziest thing I did was drive down to Richmond on a whim to go see LaMelo Ball play, um, and like had to sneak in there and stuff like that. So I feel like the biggest difference between then and now is just like the spontaneity of things. But now as a producer, like there's a lot more intention that's involved, and I think working here has like really changed me as a man, you know what I mean, to like really pre-plan stuff, have a vision, work with a team and all that stuff. Like I hadn't done any of that, so it's been a huge adjustment. So I think that's like the biggest difference.
From the spontaneity to the adjustment. Do you guys have any quick questions for him right now, either
Well, I
Corey
got
or Manuela? Go ahead.
well, one thing. So have you ever heard of Krill Park?
No, what's that?
So Krill Park is right on Old National. Every Saturday they have a big street ball event. If anytime you want to just go down there, just call me or hit me up. We can go there. Me and my guys will pull
Please,
up with
please,
you.
please, please go with somebody you know to own that.
No,
Go,
no, just pull
just
up.
call me.
Don't
Just
just
call
pull up.
me, and
Don't just pull up.
me and my guys will show up with you, and you can have the whole scene to do whatever you like to do or need to do, and we'll show you the Atlanta side of the real street basketball. Every Saturday they host something and people be out balling for real.
As long as we ain't
But
got no hot sauce
just call me
basketball.
before you go. Just
As
call
long,
me
as
before
long,
you
as long
go.
as they ain't got no hot sauce basketball, man. Yeah, you
No.
don't want this frequent on that for no fun. All right, you don't want this frequent on that for no fun.
But honestly,
Corey
it's
about to
big.
send him out there
It,
randomly with his camera trying to get my man Rob. Wrong with
no,
you?
no, 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 no. For what? Just call me, and two is usually some officers out there now,
Nah,
so
yeah.
it's a lot safer. So on
I got
Saturdays,
something to say
you
about
want to see
that
some
though.
balling?
Yeah, I
What's
mean,
up?
I definitely want to do that. I feel like being in the trenches with my camera and stuff like that. I've been in some crazy places. I'm not gonna lie to you,
Yeah.
but like, I feel like I'm good. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, like if you meet
Most
people where they're
definitely.
at, if you get them on camera, like they're gonna leave you alone because they know that you're
Yeah.
there for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
I don't get worried when I go into new places like that because I'm gonna make sure I speak to people. I don't got no agenda. I look like you. You know what I mean? So I personally feel safe. Now maybe that's just me being naive and like trusting people,
No, no.
but
To be
it's like
honest with
nah,
you,
you can feel the
that's
energy
showing a
sometimes.
sign
Like
of
people fuck with
respect.
you.
No, I think
Like
you're
that's showing a
correct.
sign of respect, honestly.
I think
Well,
that's
to me,
definitely
that's showing a sign of respect out here, especially being out here. If you go out, you introduce yourself, it shows that you're not on no BS. You got your camera. It shows
Right.
you there for the people, honestly.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
that gets you way farther than a lot of other people trying to sneak or who's disrespectful, honestly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Wayla, you got anything going on with that as of yet?
Well, I mean, I've looked you up, so I've seen the skills that you
Yeah.
have on the court. Do you sometimes like you mentioned the trenches? Do you sometimes go and do street ball with the people of the community and stuff like that? Just like showing your skills because you're really good. Like I seen the 3-pointers.
I'm trying to hear y'all. It's like breaking up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay,
So
I don't know if it's me.
I think it's you. We hear each other.
Mm-hmm.
okay. I'll repeat. So can you hear me?
Like barely. So should I like refresh or something or?
I'm trying to figure out why you can't hear. Can you hear me?
I can hear y'all, but it's like it sounds like y'all robots.
Oh, real choppy.
Oh wait,
Okay.
this is good. I think we're good. Okay, go ahead.
So what I was saying was, so I looked you up, and I see the skills that you have on the court. Like, you're really good. I saw the 3-pointers you made. So I was just wondering, do you sometimes, like, because you mentioned going to the trenches, do you sometimes go on the court, like on the street, and like do some street ball with the community and stuff like that?
I cannot make out what's being said. I'm so sorry.
It's
Hold on,
Can you hear me?
let me join again. Hold on, I'm gonna join again.
He's gonna hop out and hop back in.
All right, I'll be right
He's
back.
gonna hop out and hop back in.
But yeah, man, I think that'd be good though for him to come out and actually get to experience Atlanta.
No,
and he
so
haven't been here for that long to really see the street ball side.
I would say from Will, I think that was a great question. But I know he's done that at home. He's done that in other places that he's been at, right? In the sense of like hopping out there and like hooping and getting back into the groove. You see what I'm saying? So I think once he gets back in, he'll be able to answer that to the way that you look at it. But nah, definitely. I just think for him, when he got to Atlanta, being on that it was a corporate thing versus being like your own freelance type of everything like that, you know, he would have really been out in the trenches doing a lot more of that out here. But hold on one second.
Damn.
What happened?
It's still the same.
It's choppy.
Your building
I
has
hear y'all,
bad
but it's
internet, bro.
I know. Hold on. I'm gonna sit in a different spot.
There you go. Go ahead and make that move, y'all. Look at him on the go.
Get the good spot. Let's see. Say something.
Hello.
What up, though?
Hey.
¿Cómo estás?
Maybe. Okay.
¿Qué poquito de español o mucho de español?
Poquito.
Okay. What's up?
Yeah, Corey's Spanish eye coming out. People don't even know that. They think you're black. Don't let them trick you.
Short backstory. My family's from Trinidad and Venezuela. Puerto Spain.
Am I frozen? Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you, but you're definitely frozen. You're definitely frozen, though.
Damn.
All right, there you go. There you go. You back in frame.
Ask the question. Go.
All right. So I've looked you up, doing your Instagram. I've checked YouTube out. I see that you're really, really good on the court. Like the 3 points, like the 3-pointers are crazy. So my question is, you mentioned the trenches. Do you ever go to like the streets, like play ball with the community and stuff like that?
Yeah, like I try to. Like I think the hardest part about being a cameraman is like people think that's all that you do. So it's like, just like when I was younger, it's like you kind of got to prove your worth and so that you can hang with everybody else. And then like once you start getting buckets, people are like, oh, like you don't just film it, like you can actually play a little bit. You know what I mean? So like here in Atlanta, I haven't done it that much just because I've been working so much and haven't had a chance to really like explore the community, like I was saying earlier. But I'd love to do that because it's always cool to just get people's reaction. Like, oh, okay, you got a little jumper.
The camera guy can actually hoop.
Right.
Yeah, because I was watching the videos. I'm like, that's good.
Honestly, I feel like we all need to go out somewhere and just collab. Like we all just
man, Corey, you play football.
Camera, we'll go to the basketball court.
Your son play basketball. You play football.
What I mean,
Stop it.
Absolutely. But what I mean by collab, I mean all 4 of us go to a court and we just interact with the people. Like,
okay, yeah, I like that.
I like
out
that. Here, him doing his
thing.
I
thought Corey gonna be out there talking about, back in my day, I ran a 4.6, 4, and I hit people so goddamn hard.
Let's get it correct. I ran a 4.4. So if we gonna really play,
forgive me. You're old now.
Absolutely.
You're old now.
I'm 28. I ain't old. I ran a 4.4 play cornerback.
Look, so I think one of the things for me when it came to that is Ryan's baptized in basketball though. Like I think I like using that as a statement. I would say because we come from the same environment in that process. Like growing up in the DMV, even I would say our church style, like, that's a lot of people's introductions for basketball for us. Our church league was freaking lit. Church league was lit. Like we've had pros play in church league growing up. We had a lot of people play in in that perspective, and then to be in such an area in which if you hoop, everybody else that hoops, right? So usually when you see a guy pick up a camera, right, it's usually because you're not going to make it as a hooper. Did you ever have that realization saying like, oh, I may not make the NBA, but I want to be a part of this game at a higher level of something? Did that ever like come to you as you had that as the camera in your hand?
I don't think at any point I thought to myself, I want to play college basketball or I want to be
Wow.
a
Okay.
professional. Like to me, it was just like a challenge because I started really trying to play when I was like maybe 13, 14, and my dad would send me to the rec center all the time, like every day. He's like, go get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I would be frustrated, like, ain't nobody picking me up, like none of that. So
That was the
to me,
worst back in the day.
it was just like a challenge. And to this day, it's like I feel like I just got to prove myself every time I step on a court. I think I've done that. Am I like that good where I feel like I should or could have played somewhere? Not really, but I know I'm above average and I can impose my will when I want to. You know what I mean?
That
that's enough for me.
definitely means you should have played college ball. If you could say that I can
Yeah.
impose my will,
You know,
that sounds like
in the rec,
LeBron.
in the rec.
Okay, okay.
Not, you know what I mean? Because I'm not blessed with the height either, and I play like I feel like if I was like 6'6",
Mm,
then my skill set would be able to transfer. But I play as a 5'11" person, like a three. You know what I mean? But
mm.
I can't be that at the Division I level or anything like that. So,
Mm.
but yeah, I don't think there was ever a point where I wanted to, or I felt like I was missing something because I didn't play for like a organized team or anything like that. So,
I find that interesting because I feel like for me, I've always come from the mindset of a player. Like, okay, if you're filming, you don't hoop. Like, you see what I'm saying? Or you were that kid that wasn't going to be able to make the team, or you was the friend of the kid that was hooping. So you taking the video of him putting in work or whatever. Da 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 da. So I think for me, like I always growing up when I played basketball, I felt like I could have been anything. Personally, that's the way I felt when I played. And it kind of led my career path with a few realizations throughout my life, right? So I would say when I was in college, my freshman and sophomore year, when I got back home those summers, we would play like at the University of Maryland, we play at Bowie, we were playing like the top talent. And I was having like good games, like some really good shit. Like, oh, this guy, or I'm really able to prove myself in that position. Then that ended up putting me in positions where, I ended up getting to meet Coach Turner from Gonzaga, got cool with Coach Turner from Gonzaga, somebody that became somebody you talk to regularly. And then I got an opportunity to coach with Takeover once I graduated out of college. And it was like, okay, so I get to get a little ingrained into it. So when I started training, I used to have a little bit of an imposter syndrome. If that made sense. Like, I don't know if anybody else ever heard I had that, but I had that early on because my story wasn't the same as everybody else. And it was just like, that was really weird for me. But coming from the DMV, at home, I never really felt that way because everybody you hoop with your whole life either made it or didn't make it. And so you have that as a difference. So it's really interesting to see somebody that's on your level and what you do and how I see that you film like workouts to hear that you didn't have that as an aspiration. I think that kind of probably could have been a help to you versus a hindrance because it was never a worry about, oh, am I going to make it to college to play ball or am I going to make it as a pro to play ball? And it kind of gave you probably a little bit of an edge in what you did. I thought that was super
yeah,
interesting.
I feel like just in general in my life, like I had a silver spoon, you know, came from a middle class family. Um, I think that's kind of also fueled this journey as well You know what I mean? Because I'm not out here making videos because I need money. Like I'm doing it because I want to. Like I know I can go get a rec membership or find some place to play church league or whatever, just because I want to, not because I'm trying to bring my folks out the hood. You know what I mean? Like it's always been. I've always had like a solid foundation. So the way I describe my journey is just sort of more like a exploration instead of like a necessity. You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something. I have a. It's not a gripe, but I also think that it's importantly said. So as somebody that's in the field that you are in a not in the same capacity, but let's say like when we say out the hood, I'm just gonna tell you some of my pet peeves. You got a lot of black kids that are coming from middle class that fucking hoop.
Yeah.
And so, but it's always things like that as a narrative. So I mean, for me, I asked that question because I mean, when I look at some of the guys I knew, you're gonna have those guys that are coming out the mud, but you got guys that aren't coming to mud that just are as hungry as committed to that process. So I think it's interesting. I would ask, do you think that most of the guys that you filmed that have made it, you know, what do you think? I mean, in a sense of as you know, in a if you can say like a percentage wise, which of them are coming out of the mud versus which of them are coming kind of from yours or our or my background in a sense of that upper middle class or middle class black family.
Because you know I'm on
I
the
don't
other
know.
side of that too.
Huh? I know you're on the other side of that. I'm saying
I'm on
so.
the other side of that.
Yeah.
So I see more of people who come out the mud. Honestly, no offense, I personally feel that people that come out the mud have a little more hunger because they have more at stake than somebody who has a silver spoon. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not downplaying the talent, the grind, the hustle, the consistent time you're putting in. I feel that people who are coming out the hood, they just have more at risk. They put it all in this. If this don't work, they don't have a second option. They don't have that option. Like, you know what? Let me go to that film. Let me go to this acting school. It's like, all right, now I gotta either do something illegal or work a 9 to 5 until I figure out what else I'm good at because I only been good at basketball.
I like that perspective.
I think it's solid, and I think just from what I've seen, I think it's kind of even, right? Because like
that's what I felt too.
The middle class people, like sometimes they get a leg up just because of the resources that they have. You know what I mean? But
for real.
But like I'm here and seeing how these kids' lives are being changed and hearing their stories and stuff like that. I'm like, they really came from nothing. You know what I mean? Like eating cereal for every meal, and then all of a sudden you can retire your parents and you're 17. You know what I mean? Like that's
that's
different,
bro. That's different right there.
That's nuts. So I think it's like it's pretty even. Yeah.
So I would ask for you in the perspective. Can you give us a little bit more of the insight for where you work and what that job entails right now in the sense of the grand scheme? So you talked a little bit about 17-year-olds. I don't want any specifics on any of the guys, but just let them know what OTE is now, like comparative to every kind of other little outlet. I mean, because everybody probably says, "Oh, yeah, I remember them from YouTube," right? When you think about it, you see it on your shirt right there with the saying overtime. Can you expand a little bit more on what overtime is now becoming?
Yeah. Overtime is a social media company that started about 5 years ago. I think it just had its 5th birthday, probably like a couple months ago. It started by 2 people, 2 white men, Zach Weiner, he's my age, 29, and Dan Porter. He is a businessman, entrepreneur that sold multiple companies. One was the company that is now Ticketmaster. He started his company and it became that, so he sold that. He also created and sold the game Draw Something. I don't know if you guys remember that. It's where you had to like draw a picture for your friends, send it to them, then they had to guess what it was.
Yeah, I never played that one. Was that like was that like an app on the phone?
It was an app.
Okay.
And that was huge, and he sold that. He also used to be the president for Teach for America, which was incredible. So he's just like one of those really awesome dudes. So they started this social media company, and the goal was to make everybody who's a regular person like you and I have the ability to create and capture their own sports highlights. So they created a software where you can stand under a baseline and record a play. And then once you push a button, it saves the last 10 seconds and uploads it to the cloud, which allows the social platform to post it immediately, right? So as you probably know, John, in the world, if you're the first to post something in the basketball world, like people are going to be looking, and then they're going to look every time, right?
Time.
So some people that got famous off of Overtime is like Mac McClung, the white boy who just was like dunking in a gym, and then he blew up overnight because Overtime posted it. Zion Williamson, I think we were the first company to sort of like follow him, and you see how, you know, larger than life he got. And the list could go on of people that they were kind of like pushing forward. But the trajectory for them is like they were just making content. First it was just the phone, and then someone came in and was like, hey, you guys should do longer videos. So they started doing longer videos and put them on YouTube. And now they have series with up-and-coming athletes. They have one-off content where it's like a day in the life thing. They have football content. They have a platform in France and Africa, and they're just like there's a global social footprint, right? And I say social and emphasize that because I can talk to my neighbor in here and they have no idea what Overtime is. But if you go online, like everybody knows what it is in this particular world.
Yeah, millions.
Right. So, and because our leaders in this company are so progressive and always want to push the envelope and really care about the what's the word? The not integrity, but the, for lack of a better word, well-being of the athlete, they decided to launch a league where high school age players are now able to get paid quite a bit of money to be professional athletes and get that process started early. So for the surface level stuff, each player gets a minimum of $100,000 in the contract. Obviously, it's whatever you negotiate. So I think your social following does play a part in you know, what you're able to negotiate, because at the end of the day, it's all about content. There's an academics program where you can walk out with your diploma or whatever. The team here is great. A bunch of people that look like us that really care about these players to make sure they're straight. There's a whole analytics department where every little thing about your game is written down somewhere, even down to the ball. We have a partnership with this company called SIQ or Seek or however you say it. And it can like track how high you shooting the ball, how many times you going to shoot on the gun and stuff like that. So the resources are unlimited. We have a Gatorade bar. They're a sponsor for us. We're also sponsored by State Farm. And it's just this big thing, you know what I mean? So we play each other because there's 3 teams within the 27 young men that got signed. We also play prep schools and stuff like that outside of this area. We travel. And it's just like an amazing operation that's needed because it's been happening overseas, probably not at this level, but it's been happening like that for a long time. So where I come in is I am a content producer. Well, my technical title is shooter, producer, editor. And I help make the long form content that goes on YouTube. So I work with about, I feel like 20 people in our department here, and we make these epic videos for our younger audience. So it could be like a Cribs episode where we follow a 7-footer around his apartment, or it could be something like I just did and posted the other day, which is like a day in the life sort of feature video for this kid from North Carolina who once had 50 Division I offers and now he's here. So talking about his story. So it's just, I get to wake up every day and do what I love, work with amazing people, and, you know, connect with athletes, which is really why I'm in this game. So,
all right. I think that's insane to say.
Nice.
I could even imagine in high school somebody say, "Yo, I can give you $100,000 if you want to hoop."
That's incredible.
What?
That's incredible.
But hey, I got to get back to my company. I got to Finish doing what we
Enjoy,
gotta
man.
do.
Finish that route. We'll get it what you later. Thanks
Yes,
for
sir.
hopping in with us at least this fall.
Most definitely. It was nice meeting you, bro. We all
Me too.
got to meet up and do something, man.
For sure.
Oh, hold up. Before Corey goes, is there eventually a chance where at least all three can get to a game? Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Just say the word.
All right.
And you can
We'll set that up. We'll set that up.
I can give you a tour too. So yeah.
I know you
Actually,
told me
to
that
be honest
before.
with you,
I
do-
gotta hop down there. I live in the burbs, y'all. If you take it, be a lot to get down there to Atlanta.
But I gotta get out of here.
Well, holla, Corey. All right. Now I guess it's just you, I, and Manuela. Let's get it popping. But yeah, so I think that's so interesting for me in a sense where you were able to be a part of something of this magnitude, because I believe that not only is this one of those disruptors that you see in everyday life, but it's a disruptor that you see in the conduit and how we do business here in our country. You mentioned earlier in there that overseas, guys have already getting paid at their age. Like you think of players like Luka and a couple other people that have been pros since they were 15, 16 years of age, right? You've been a pro. You've had a chance to make money, feed your family. And sometimes these kids are really just that good, right? The high school level really doesn't serve you. You're dropping 40 points every night. It looks easy because you just are that. Now, my question would be with that is, do we know how you're able to get that contract? Is it having that social footprint already, right? Or having that social clout or that social backing already as a player? Or can they come and try out to get a contract or whatever? Or is it based on you guys are going after the guys that are already at a superior level?
I think it's sort of all of the above. I know early on, before we got started, when we had maybe 5 players signed, there was a point where we had a mini camp in Miami and some players were trying out and they played with us for a little bit. I haven't seen that as much here. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't really even know all the details of how this stuff works, but I think there is an element of you're recruiting kids. So if he's good, then you make a pitch and they do what they want with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to me, if I was a kid, it'd be kind of hard to turn this down because it's like a win-win. And one thing I didn't mention is if they decide after they sign that they just want to not go pro or go back to school or whatever, they have $100K set aside in scholarship money to go get their degree. So it's there's really
basically you're worth $200K off break at the lowest end of your contract is $200,000.
Right.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Crazy.
There's no loss. So
Okay, overtime. I didn't even. That's real. I like that. I like that. I have a few questions. I think for me, when you got the video skill, or let me make sure I phrase this correctly. Do you believe that as a parent, you are a new father, going forward, do you believe that video skills can serve all kids in some capacity?
Absolutely. I think content is everything. Now, I'm not the visionary that can tell you what's coming down the pipeline, but as you've seen just on Instagram, everything is video now. It's hard to even find a picture on Instagram anymore. I don't know if you noticed that, but knowing how to create your own content is kind of everything. And thinking back to when I was in Maryland, I was so busy because I was trying to help everybody else build up their content because they don't know how to do it. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, I'm here second guessing myself on what I should post, but I know how to do it. So it's I need to be pouring this into myself because I already got the blueprint. You know what I mean? I know how to tell a story. I know how to, edit and all that stuff. So I think it's extremely valuable when you can create your own narrative. You know what I mean?
Well, I think Ryan might have just gave his own new pitch for LLC he's about to put out, y'all. I might have stepped on some toes. He might already have that in the works. Put a little something in the back where you say, hey, Ryan such and such help you with your contacts or your content. I suck at content creation. I think for me, I love podcasting. I love the space of having the conversation. But like in the sense of like putting yourself online or putting yourself on video, like I can't tell you how many times people say all the time, like, oh man, like I need more content from your training, or I need more of this. And I just be like, bro, I don't like training is detailed enough, but for me to have a camera up and go into it and try to cut the clips up correctly versus looking at the clip as clear as critical as I can to say, okay, well, it seems like you're holding your hand on the ball a split second too long versus your guy hand coming off, right? That's every time I see when I post a clip that I'm trying to edit it and like get out there and show it. And then like I think for me, I have a huge issue with my personal content because it's hard for me just to show the good stuff.
Yeah, you gotta show it all.
So yeah, I think for me, like I like showing the misses because I think that's so important, right? I like showing like the process because do you feel now today that kids have an unfair view of like what it takes to make it because so much content is just the good stuff?
Yeah, it's saturated. And you think that a mixtape is gonna, well, actually, I will say mixtapes do help sometimes.
Oh no, definitely. It helps you. It helps
for
your
sure.
career,
Like,
sure.
But is that like the end all be all? No, because what's the next thing the coach is gonna ask once he sees the mixtape? It's like, okay,
I mean, get game film. I need game film. I need game film. I need a full game.
Why are all these clips? Why are all these clips in the mixtape from like 7 different games? You know what I mean? Right? Why is it not just from one game?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
I got a funny. So I got one of my best friends is a head coach in college, right? And I remember he called me one day. He was like, "Man, I done got the most jankiest mixtape. It looked like he showed me the same shot 7 times."
Back to back.
It would not feel like you have a clip in between, but then it go back to the same shot. Like I was just like, bro. I was like, mixtapes is wild. Like they need to find something to make this shit look better. Like I done gave it a little bit of different graininess here, make it look like a different gel.
Oh, that's funny. You flip the image, make it look like you're going that way.
I was saying like, you do something, bro. Because when he showed me, he showed me the clip, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this is one of my best friends. Like, this kid wants to be recruited. Now he doesn't coach at a major college, but I mean, highlight tapes are sent all throughout, right? So he coaches at the NAIA level, right? But they still offer scholarships. So people are sending in clips. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. Here's my clip. Wow, look at me shoot. And he's like, looking this way. He be looking that way. Like that's the same shot as the last 3 others on that way. I was just like, bro, I think it's so interesting when you look at mixtapes like that.
Yeah, that's funny. But I mean, going back to content, like I think like I'm pigeonholed, right? Because I know how to do a lot. Like I can make something on my phone, but I can also make like a feature-length film if I wanted to. And I think that's kind of almost like a hindrance because I overthink stuff, right? So like this podcast thing, it got me thinking. I'm like, damn, this is simple stuff. I can send somebody a link to an app, and I can host my own podcast. You know what I mean? But the way I'm thinking is like Joe Budden level. It's like, all right, I need 3 cameras. I need 3 lights. I gotta dress up the set. You know what I mean? But it's not like that.
Hey, hold up. Eventually, I'm getting there, yo. We get there eventually. Before you know it, me and my Will and Corey gonna have the spot lit up because that's the goal.
But that's the biggest thing, like, just starting, right? And like you were saying about showing the misses, like transparency is like everything too, because people are like, man, someone's out there feeling like me. So I mean, as simple as it is, like that's more effective than anything I'm thinking of, right?
Yeah, like
because it's just real. Just like the title. We all got it together.
You ain't got it. Well, now, come on. Say, I don't know if you're allowed to based on your contract, but you can say the whole thing properly for me. Say, we still ain't got our shit together. There you go.
It's cool.
You Mom, he's sorry. He didn't mean to curse. It's okay if you watch this later.
I'm grown. I'm grown.
I think for me, do you think gear matters? I think that's always a huge question for everybody, right? Like, oh man, I want to start filming or I want to start doing this. And I remember when we started this podcast, me and Will talking, I was like, oh, I need to get a camera, right? I need to be like those streamer guys, the ones that got the big old camera with the lens sitting up top doing your thing. And then I was like, all right, well, but I got an iPhone, right? So I guess I'm gonna use that. So that's what I'm using now. And so, what do you think for people that want to get started in creating mixtapes and all that? Do they need to eventually go get cameras, or are cell phones good enough now to do everything?
I think none of it matters. If you have like a VHS camera like that, that can work.
The old over the shoulder.
Yeah, like whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's all about connections. As corny as that sounds, it's like I could be putting out the shittiest content in the world, but if I know the right people that push it to the right people, or one person that's really special is watching it, then that's a win. You know what I mean? Like, and to me, you start with what you have, and then once people see the consistency and finally dive into the content that you have, like people start coming to you to help you out. You know what I mean? I can't tell you how many people have been like, "Hey, can I just shadow you on a shoot? Like, do you need someone to like start the edit for you? Like, can I do X, Y, and Z?" You know what I mean? Just because I'm out here doing what I can with what I got. You know what I mean? So of course, like having a higher quality image will get somebody to maybe stay on the preview on Instagram a little longer. But at the end of the day, like you just use what you can. And then when you have the means to upgrade, then do that. That's it.
I was wondering, because I always feel like that's everybody's big question nowadays.
Yeah.
Do I get the gear, or do I start with what I have type of deal?
Start, and then the rest will just like come to you. And that's honestly, like I was saying with this podcast thing, it's like I'm already thinking like, dang, I don't have 3 microphones to invite people to my podcast and stuff like that. It's like, nah, like, I can just do this right here on the computer, and then it'll come by inertia.
Yeah, the computer is amazing, man.
We're gonna get back. You know what I mean?
Hey, it's that social proof, man. That is real. I think you know, you can't beat it. You can't beat it at all. And then you get lucky though. I say for me, I've gotten lucky. Like starting the podcast. Like in the beginning, it was like you got a plan and it's gonna work, right? Oh, this is my plan. I was gonna have the podcast. It's gonna be just like I Am Athlete. That was originally my thought process, right? Now it didn't work out. People didn't always make it. And then eventually throughout the line, you meet people that end up aligning with you. And that's how we got together on this. So you know what I'm saying?
Just started.
And so things end up working out, and it ends up being like an amazing concept. Well, I want to know, did you have anything else to add to the pot?
Yes. So, aside from basketball thing, your camera work, and all that stuff, let's talk about your family life. Like, how has your career impacted your life at home? Like, do you spend a lot of time away from home, or do you have a lot of time that you can spend at home with your family?
It's not easy at all. Like, I think, like I was saying earlier, about the transition to working a job like this, it's like all about being like super intentional with your time. So
right,
when I first got here, I had the same mindset. It's like I could just be in the arena because I could shoot around in there, work out in there, can talk to people in there, and I can work in there. You know what I mean? So I'm always trying to just be there. I'm lingering, like, yeah, I'll be home soon, and then like show up later. You know what I mean? Like, and like it's all come to a head. Like actually, relatively recently, it's all come to a head. It's like, no, I can't do that. You know what I mean? If I say the workday ends at 6, if I say I'm gonna be home at 6:15, I gotta be home at 6:15.
Right.
Well, welcome to it, Ryan. Dad,
you know what I mean? I have to.
Dad shot that.
I gotta do dinner. I gotta connect. I gotta rub wifey's feet. You know what I mean? I gotta meet her I gotta fill up her love cup. You know what I'm saying? Because that'll in turn, this isn't the only reason why I do that, but that'll in turn, it'll help me out. Because I need the words of affirmation and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's like,
look at me, I'm about to raise the roof out here, right? I hear preaching today, my boy.
So if I go into work with intention, lay out my day, be like, all right, I'm leaving at 6. I live like 4 minutes away from my job. Be home at 6:10. I'll bathe the boy. We can watch trash TV. And then we all good. And, you know, and the thing that was like the toughest for me is like stuff like that kind of scared me. Like I've been married for a while, but just like it's not monotonous because it's not boring, but it's just like, dang, I'm really a dad. You know what I mean? I'm really
it's a routine.
A husband. It's a routine.
It's a consistent routine. Yeah.
But
how long you been married?
I've been married for almost 4 years now.
Okay, nice.
So a little over 3. It'll be 4 this summer.
That's
But it's just like really buying into that
Mhm.
is you got to do it. And then like the other day, I was like just laying on the floor watching my son walk around. We were just sitting there laughing. I was like, man, it's actually cool. Like I'm not missing something at the arena that I can't do tomorrow during the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because time is precious. You know, we don't get that back. And your son, he just turned 1, and blink of an eye, he will be 5. You know, like time really goes. I have a son. My son's 7,
I'm trying to tell
and
you, that shit don't make sense. These
like
kids grow
literally,
up.
he grows like overnight, like so fast. And I think like time should be spent, especially with the wife and the kids. Like that's important. Yeah, so that's cool.
I think
Any on that, John?
Oh,
As far as work life?
I think for me, like expanding on that as a man, right? I think, and it's not to sound like sexist or whatever, but women, like you guys have that innate connection with your child because, like, you know, it grew in you. And I think as men, and you have the concept of growing up with a dad, growing up with people in your lives where you've seen what providing meant, right? So for you, you've always said, well, I'm gonna focus on making sure I do it. This, and that, right? And so finally having that realization that time matters. Like I remember for me early on, one of my big changes was if I wanted to talk to people, you can only talk to me when I was in the car, right? That was my only time. You gonna call me? I got time between 6 and 6:45 on my way home from work. Call me then. If not, like once I get home, I'm dedicated to my daughter because for me, I'm also a person that really just now within probably this calendar year between the middle of 2021 to now that I really start learning how to set my schedule, right? Before that it was like, okay, I go to work, regularly for one of the largest companies in the world. After that I come home and I got to go train 2 clients. It's in and out. Hey, baby, just have a plate for me. Yeah, and gone, right? And then, like, what I started hearing my daughter say all the time was like, Dad, all you do is work, right? And that's like a Pearson, like, little process. And so I had to figure out, I know I have time somehow throughout the day, right? There's always time in the day. I am not consistently busy 24/7, right? And so I had to figure out how to manage that process in general. And even with the podcast, it's taught me a lot in the sense of last year to this year with us being intentional about our time frames, right? What best works for everybody where we can all make it if we can, right? So everybody's busy. We all are entrepreneurs. We all do what we have to do, but being an entrepreneur means that you work 24/7, if that makes sense, versus somebody that's punching at 9 to 5 clock, where it's like, hey, buddy, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, I got my work, and other than that, you're good to go. And I think it's just an interesting concept to hear you talk about how, you are on that level so much earlier than I was, bro.
It just happened though. Like it
was so much
earlier
to
make sense.
It was so much. I mean, I struggled with that heavily, figuring out how to figure out my time frame. So I thought that was real interesting. That was a good question, Marilla. High five, bro.
Perfect timing too. Perfect timing.
Oh no, you need to explain to me. Dadshot that. Come on now.
Oh yeah, okay. So my name obviously up to like yesterday, because I just changed it yesterday.
I saw that shit too.
Yeah, it was Free Alexander, right? And so the reason I came up with that name, that was like 2013, 14, before I started filming basketball. I just felt like there was a point in time where I was doing what I love, like following around a tattoo artist and filming them tattooing, like traveling, just filming whatever, right? And I felt like when I did that stuff, it made me feel like the best version of myself. And my middle name is Alexander, and I just put the free in front of it, and it kind of like stuck. It's stuck in the basketball world.
Oh hell yeah! You was selling T-shirts, everything with that shit.
Right.
It was hot. It was hot.
And that's what I was known as. People call me Free. People to this day don't know my actual name. They'll call me Alex. Like there's a kid over at the arena. Like before I got here, he followed me. He was like, "What's up, Alex?" I was like, "Hey, what's up?" Just it is what it is. But I'm realizing that I needed to release myself from that because I'm right where I need to be right now. You know what I mean? I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm shooting shit. You know what I'm saying? So I switched to the Dadshot that, and I feel like the content that I want to create, because I'm always thinking about content, which may be a bad thing, but I want to post
Never
more of my son.
apologize. Never apologize for that.
Okay, hey.
As a man to man, as entrepreneur to entrepreneur, never apologize for the movement forward. Okay, never
I love that.
apologize for that.
All right, no apologies. So I want to post more of my son. Want to post more of me working, so people can actually know what I'm doing and understand. And also, I want to post more of me playing basketball because I love that too. You know what I mean? So I think Dadshot that. It's like a double entendre because I can shoot it. You know what I'm saying? And I can shoot it. You know what I mean?
I want that 3-ball again. You feel
That's
me?
it. That's it. So I think it'll stick. I'm probably gonna come out with some T-shirts, some dad hats. You know what I mean?
I'm a shamelessly plug myself.
No, do it,
if you
please.
need to come out with T-shirts,
oh yeah. I forgot.
One of my many businesses talents is that we do print shirts. So
yes.
if you need to come out with T-shirts, please let me oblige to be a part of that with you.
It's coming. It's coming. I think the exciting thing is like I get to work with a lot of YouTubers and stuff too. Not like directly, but I see them all the time, so I get to like pick their brain or whatever. And it's like these young people that just like figured out how to make all this money from making content. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I can do the same thing.
So I got a funny story. In 2008, right, in college, I wrote a business proposal on content creation for YouTube, and like, so it got shot down though, right? I mean, I took it to my advisor. I was like, yo, I think this shit's gonna be big. They looked at me. I just don't see how you make that type of money from this, right? And I scrapped that shit in 2008, like fully scrapped it. It was like just over with. Me and my homegirl Hazel put together. We did our first little video. It was about cat stacks. We did like a whole little thing on cat stacks, everything. Like we sat here and talk like how we talking right now. We sit on the couch in my apartment in college, just talking about the whole cat stack shit with a little grainy camera pointed at us. Like we can create like this podcast feel like what Joe Budden was doing, film it, put it on YouTube, and eventually I felt like that shit was going to hit. I wrote a business proposal, took it to my advisor because at that time I didn't know who else to go to with the information, right? And he looked at it and was like, "This is well written. I just don't see how you're going to end up making whatever from this, right?" Because they didn't have the vision to see, that content creation was going to be the next big thing. And I didn't have the vision to follow my own process at that time either. Because you're so used to following the grain of what's set out in front of you. Like, okay, well, they know more about this than I do. So let me ask them and see if it's even viable. If it's viable, it is. If it's not, oh well, right? And so that was interesting that happened. And, I always say to myself, you look at these young YouTubers today, but I also forget that they grew up on it too. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, they were born into it.
They were born that they're ingrained in this process. Like, it's so funny to hear a kid now be like, "Yo, what do you want to be to grow up?" I want to be a YouTuber.
Me too.
Yeah.
What? But I think about it as a kid, like that was never my thought process, right? Like as a kid, it was never, yo, I can't wait to make videos and post them online because it wasn't a thing. So, I was telling, like, we have conversation with people before, and I was like, yo, like, I do feel like the Black culture will eventually change financially in the next, 2 or 3 generations where it's going to be crazy. There's so much available information online. And if you're in that era, I mean, you got kids now watching Earn Your Leisure. Like, I don't know, you might have never heard of that podcast, like Earn Your Leisure and a lot of other guys.
They came through.
OTE?
Yeah, they interviewed Bryson Warren. I don't know if you heard that episode.
Okay. I haven't yet.
The commissioner of the league.
Okay.
You should check it out. But yeah.
I will go check it out. I love them guys, man. So I was just like, that's so crazy. but the thing is, you have that type of content of financial information being given to you now, and you're like, oh, people are being transparent about what they make from YouTube. So if I just got a cell phone and a camera, I'm gonna go out and do it. Like I think of people that be asking the questions in the streets to the people, and they like them kids make hella money.
I know.
They be like, oh, what's 2 + 2? And see if somebody knows the answer.
There's a
And
group
I'd be
that
like, damn, why did I think of that shit?
Overtime partnered with called AMP.
Oh yeah, I actually watched one of those guys. The one with the hair.
There's like 6 of them. Yeah, that's Agent. There's like 6 YouTubers, right? They're a group, but they all have their own personal brands as well. But I guess through COVID, they started making like a lot of content and just like blew up. And then they came up like real. So like we hoop with them sometimes, but the stuff that they pull up in, like it's incredible. And I'm like, bro, you're like 21.
I saw his video about that TRX truck.
Bro,
I want
it.
I want it, but I'm getting a Lightning, so I can't be too mad.
Tesla that's like platinum. Like I've never seen anything like it. I can see my reflection in that thing. Like,
it was a mirror.
So I'm like, I'm obviously working way too hard. Like I'm not saying they're not working, because to be a content creator, like
it's
on it, like all the time. But I'm like, I can do that, and I want to do that.
I ain't gonna lie, like, so there's people I watch like podcast wise, like you got Flagrant 2 and them boys. You look at that, and I'm like, yo, eventually I want to go to like two days dropping a week, to 3 days dropping a week, to 4 days dropping a week, and maybe sprinkle in like specific special episodes throughout the process, but having that process of just talking about what's already there or what's already happening in the world is such readily available content. And I've learned that this year. So I told her we did our first this past week, this Friday, we dropped our first current event episode, right? And I'm like, damn, what was I thinking before? Like current event episodes of the shit. Like you got already ready content every single week. Somebody's gonna do something for you to talk about. And so I just think that's interesting as a process as we grow and we understand the process. Whether anything else before we go ahead and drop it or end it on the bombshells?
No, heard a lot of great content and stuff from you. So,
man, it has been my pleasure. I'm gonna get up there, not this Monday, but maybe another Monday, because Monday be my only days, man. I gotta get up there to get that tour, man, of the facility. That's so awesome.
Wait, where do y'all live again?
Okay, so I'm in Noonan. Say yours again, Manuela.
I'm in Atlanta.
She's in Atlanta.
Wait, where?
Southwest, Camp Creek area.
Oh,
off of 285. Yeah.
Cool. I'm in Midtown, so
yeah.
Like
I'm all the way up 85 South, guys. To the great city of Noonan. We're about 40 minutes outside the city, but it's worth it.
Oh, you're 20 away from the airport.
Huh?
You're 20 minutes from the airport?
Yeah.
The other way.
Yeah, I'm 25. I'm 25 going towards Auburn. So for instance, the airport is kind of like right near where Manuela is off of Camp Creek. Mm-hmm. But from her house to me, we're looking at, if I'm on the highway, 25 to 30 minutes easily. Right now, I don't live at the top at the tip of Noonan. Where that's like 22 minutes, but I'm a little further up. So, but I mean, I don't mind the drive, honestly. I mean, I come from Maryland. I used to drive from Silver Spring to like Bowie. Come on, bro. Like this
in rush hour.
this and the thing is this, I don't really experience traffic on my side of town at all. There is no traffic. Once you pass Union City and you get on 85 South, there is zero traffic.
You in the country, that's why.
But guess what? I don't have traffic, y'all. No traffic.
Guess what?
Do you understand how my blood pressure stays down? Because I'm not upset. We got the good school system. If you care about that, nice neighborhoods.
I mean, we
clean streets.
Push out
no liquor stores.
Right.
You're so silly.
I mean, it just depends. Ryan, when you guys are ready to leave the city, man, I'll send a realtor your way.
We're not gonna go that far, but I'll give it like 20 minutes max. I don't want to be too far from the city.
Man.
I can't.
Hey man, your butt goes further out here too. You ain't think about that. Build a whole studio. You feel me?
Man, I guess. So then I gotta go to work. And,
Hey, look, I'm over here on the recruiting trail. You feel me?
Right.
Bring more people out this way. Leave the city. But nah, yeah. I mean, I just think it's interesting. And again, Ryan, I want to thank you again for coming out to the podcast. This is the first, but it won't be the last.
Yeah.
You heard from our boy.
Man. I wanna hang out. I need a couple friends, like parents.
Man, I didn't even think about it last night, but we actually had a game night, even though Wayla didn't show up.
I couldn't help it.
Hey, I'm just saying. We had a game night last night. I didn't even think I could have called you out, but then again, it was kid free. So I don't know if you guys really have the child care out here as of yet.
Bruh, you say the word, we'll be there. We need to connect with more adults.
Nah, like I tell you, it's a trip though, but it's worth it. It's worth it.
My aunt lives out in Gwinnett County.
That's like the total opposite.
Yeah, I know. It's but it's like 50 minutes, no traffic. I'm like, golly, like
is she like Duluth or like Sugarloaf?
Let me look up this address.
Because that's interesting to me. Because Gwinnett is huge, bro. Gwinnett is huge. I'm talking about like Gwinnett's a mini state. Like, I mean, Snellville to freaking
Mountain.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't got the address, but she's far. Like very far.
he was out there by the Mall of Georgia or whatnot.
Bruh.
Near Gainesville.
Like borderline Carolina. You know what I mean? Like
going all the way down 85 North, no stop.
So we've taken some drive now.
All right. The next time we have a little shindiggy, you on the list, my boy.
Please.
You on the list. Now my weather's already upset because of the time frame, but hey, I mean, can't do it every week. So it'll be in the next couple of months or something like that. We're probably gonna put a little something together. We both are gonna be busy for the next literally month. So next month we got a weddings and all that other stuff we got to do. So yeah, got the flower girl of the future. Everybody wants her to be the flower girl. So
I love it.
It's fun, man. It's fun, but then you got to be on the move, bro. Like, don't have the popular kid. Have the popular kid put you on the move.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been great yet again. I'm gonna do a quick sign off yet again. I'm your boy John Wayne Willis Jr. This has been another episode of You Still Ain't Got Your Shit Together podcast.
Yes, I'm your girl Manuela Cook.
And thank you to our boy Ryan. Oh, before you go, is there any last words you want to give the people?
Yeah, give me a follow, man.
Shout out all your handles for us. Shout out all your handles.
I'm gonna just shout out one because I'm still developing the rest. Follow me on Instagram, Dadshot that. That's where you'll see most of my stuff. Eventually, I'm gonna change my Twitter to that and my YouTube. Okay. But right now, it's just Instagram, and you can see my son on my story every morning. That's it.
My question to you: what's gonna happen when he dunks on you?
It's never ever gonna be the case. Never. I will hurt him before he does that. That's not.
I feel like that's something I gotta ask every guy that question. Like, but you do know it's eventuality, right? Nah. He might catch you slipping.
I will pull him out of basketball if I see the signs that's coming.
First of all, that is called
psych. I'm not doing that. Whatever.
Look, he got the next LeBron on his hands. Well, hey, nah, we can't do this no more. He almost put it on my head, guys. I can't even think about it.
Nah, I'm leaning into it. He's dunking on me.
So. Hey, coming one of these like this, bam.
Right
now, would you put that video out?
Absolutely. I have to. You gotta go viral, right?
Hey, that'd be so cold. You I would say are the only one of my friends that have had a male child that are going to be okay with it happening.
No, it's fine. I'm not gonna just like let it happen, but if it happens and it happens to be on film, like I'm gonna lean into it.
It was so funny. I had my homeboy tell me he would burn his wife's phone and she took a video and that happened. I'm throwing it in the fire.
Nah, I don't got that much pride.
You know, everybody think they can still hoop, but then you think about it, your age kids, so you get out there and your mind start doing some shit you thought you can do. You go to jump to meet somebody at the rim, and you just don't get as high anymore.
Yeah, I've been there.
It happens. But like I said, guys, again, it has been our pleasure. We're out. All right.